on the East Coast. So it's that time again. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Today is October 29th, 2024. Pretty crazy. This is the last stream of the month of October, so we only got a couple months left in the year at this point, which is pretty wild to think about. It's just kind of flying by. But I hope everybody's day has been good. I hope everybody's week has been good so far. And tonight's topic is going to be discussing distribution of your music. So if you're an artist, producer, whoever you are putting out music out there, obviously a big thing that a lot of people want to know, especially as independent artists, is how do you get your music to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, pretty much everywhere all at once. And it's something that is pretty common as far as figuring out where to go these days. You could really do a Google search and kind of find a good place to go, figure it out. But I figured I'd make a video to discuss some of the different platforms and preferably some of the more prominent ones that are out there today that you can use. And this is basically updated for where we're at now in 2024. And it's going to keep updating. Obviously, there's going to be versions down the line and different platforms that keep getting introduced as well. So I mean, if you're seeing this video 2 years from now, 2026, a lot of these will still be here, but there's probably going to be new ones too. Just keep that in mind. But for 2024, this is going to be a pretty comprehensive list of platforms that are being used by a lot of different music makers, and some of these I'll have had experience with, so I'll kind of give you my experience with them. A lot of these though I've never even heard of, so there's some on this list that are new to me as well. So what I did was I went to Royalty Exchange, who provides a ton of information for independent artists on how to get. Essentially, when you hear Royalty Exchange, you're thinking about music royalties. They give a lot of information on those types of things, like publishing, artist publishing, all that sort of thing. So I found a list that is, I believe, about 15 different platforms that they provided, and it's called the Best Music Distribution Companies in 2024. And this was actually just published in August, so only a couple months ago. So like I said, as of recording this is the most up-to-date list that we have. And when I read through this briefly last week, I thought that this would be a great one to include and to kind of break down today. So that's really what it's going to be, is just me breaking down this list that I found. And at the end, I'll be sure to let you know where to find it, because it'll be in the description of the YouTube replay as well. So let's get started. Let's get right to it, not waste any time here. Platform number 1 is called Too Lost. I've never heard of this platform. It says this is a relatively new music distribution platform that was launched in 2020, offering a direct distribution model to over 450 outlets. Artists benefit from a 0% commission structure, allowing them to retain all their royalties without hidden fees or charges. The platform supports payment splitting and provides access to instant advances, catering to financial needs of independent musicians. Moreover, Too Lost ensures quick distribution, with music available on major platforms like Apple Music and Spotify within 1 to 3 days. Also includes a Spotify pre-save feature and Dolby Atmos distribution. Their plans start at $2.99 a month for artists and $5.99 a month for labels. So to me, that all sounds pretty reasonable. A lot of that is pretty standard at this point for certain distribution platforms. The 450 outlets thing is it's kind of, I guess that's kind of just a selling point, because I'm gonna be honest, with my experience with having music on platforms, you get your music on a ton of platforms regardless, but not all those platforms are where your audience is. And a lot of people, most music consumers, are consuming on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify these days. Some are on Deezer and some other things, Pandora, but for the most part, that's the big 3 at this point. So they say 450, that means there's a ton of other ones but you're not going to get a ton of traction there. But it is cool to say that your music is on all those platforms just in case. To me, it's always just a main feature to make sure that the big three are included in that, which most of these are all going to have that included at this point. And Dolby Atmos, I've heard that debated a lot on if that matters, because Dolby Atmos is essentially like high definition surround sound audio, or like spatial audio as they call it, and it's cool. A lot of distribution platforms make you pay extra to have your music released as a Dolby Atmos stream. To me, I'm kind of on the side of it doesn't really matter, because the way people are consuming music is not how the creators are making the music. You know, you're not making it you're not listening to it in like a full studio. Most people are going to be listening on their Apple earbuds, which at that point it doesn't matter if it's Dolby Atmos or not. They're not going to be able to hear that sound. So that's really just a preference thing. And I'm sure a lot of these will mention Dolby Atmos, that's like an option, because it's becoming more popular, especially on platforms like Apple Music. Like, you'll see, if you hear like somebody, like for example, I'm pretty sure this new Tyler the Creator album that just came out on Monday, it has a Dolby Atmos stream back. So if you go to Apple Music, you click that one, it'll say, Dolby Atmos audio. But you're not going to be able to tell unless you have speakers that can handle that, and you're dealing with the spatial audio for playback. So that's just an option. It's kind of like a buzzword at this point to have that. But for what I'm looking at, those price points, that's fairly reasonable. Not the best, but it is fairly reasonable for what they're offering. But again, I don't know anything about this platform. I've never heard of it until I read this list. So you would have to do research on it and kind of see what it's all about. But it just got started during like the pandemic, so fairly new. I guess it's worth taking a look at. The next one is Amuse, which I've heard of. I've seen a lot of their ads on social media before. It says this music distribution platform offers artists a mix of free and paid options for releasing their music to over 35 outlets worldwide. The platform stands out by offering a 0% commission on its free tier, ensuring artists keep all their royalties, while also providing an instant advance feature qualifying users. And again, a lot of the structures of the advance versus the royalty percentage, that will just go based on your annual fee, your monthly fee. It kind of plays into that, and it kind of just plays into whatever tier you're going to be in. So like, these all vary based on what kind of tiers they offer and what you're kind of looking to do with your payments of your royalties. Because keep in mind, your royalty payments aren't going to be that much, even if you're getting a lot of streams, because a lot of people aren't making money from the royalties, or a ton of money. You can make some dollars for sure, but a lot of people aren't making a ton of money unless you're really doing great with organic streams, which a lot of people aren't. Like, I'm just going to be upfront. A lot of people are not doing good with organic streams, not bot streams and fake stuff. I'm talking about real listeners. Because even if you have real listeners, it's not going to add up to much. But, something is better than nothing. That's the way I look at it. It says Amuse supports Spotify pre-save and offers additional services like payment splitting. So basically the same as, what was that called? Too Lost. Already forgot the name. Basically the same as Too Lost, and a lot of these will have that too. I would personally prefer to refrain from ones that don't have the split option, because every time you have a collaborator on a song, you're going to want to have the split set up in advance, because if they're not there automatically taking the splits, you're going to have to do all that math on your own. And keep in mind, you're splitting cents, you're splitting pennies in half basically. So again, it's not really that much unless you're doing crazy numbers. But I personally just think it's nice to have it taken care of. And most of these platforms are starting to get on board with it. There was really only a couple that started doing it, and then everybody else has kind of followed suit. But I think that's a mandatory thing for me. If they don't have payment splits, then it's not even worth it to me. So that's an option for both those first two. Next up, we have AWOL, who is another company I've seen a ton on social media about they become more prominent in the last few years. It says part of Cobalt Music Group. It's a premium music distribution service catering to a curated selection of artists. The platform charges a 15% commission, but provides a broad distribution network reaching over 200 outlets. AWOL is designed for artists who are serious about their music careers, offering services like instant advances through their fast forward service, Dolby Atmos, Spotify Pre-Save. Although the platform is not open to all, it offers extensive support, including a payment splitting and distribution of credits for songwriters, producers, and other contributors. You have to apply to be scouted to be an AWOL artist. So it sounds like this is a lot more difficult compared to kind of your run-of-the-mill distribution company where you can just sign up and you're immediately in. This is basically invite only. But it sounds like they give you, basically the trade-off is you get more opportunities if you're accepted. But it looks like, this is kind of similar to Even. If you watched my presentation on Even, which I don't believe Even is included in this list yet, because like I said, they're not huge yet, and they're a bit of a different beast than all these guys. It sounds like this is kind of similar where they have a review process where you'll probably, send them your artist profile on different platforms, and they'll look at your numbers, they'll look at your reach, and kind of see if they want to work with you. And again, you'd have to research like what that entails, but most likely it involves, your metrics and your numbers and things like that. So it's probably not something you want to do if you're trying to just get your music out there. It's probably something you want to work up to. Like when you really have your career on track and you're starting to build something that you feel good about, that's probably when you want to try to work with someone like this, because it does sound like they would probably have like sync opportunities and other, things like that might help your career. So worth looking into. The 15% commission, again, is a trade-off for whatever opportunities they have. So it's a little different than, not giving up anything up front. But to me, I wouldn't go that route. If you're just starting out, I would keep it to one of the more standard ones. And speaking of standard ones, CD Baby is up next, who I'm pretty sure most people have heard of at this point. I've never used CD Baby. It was on my list of potential distribution platforms to use when I was starting out. But I just don't think I ever really researched it enough. I do know some artists that have used it and have had decent experiences with it. I've never, again, I don't have experience on my own, so I don't really know. But it says established in 1998. It is one of the oldest and most well-known music distribution platforms, offering services to independent artists and labels. Platform charges a 9% commission on sales and provides access to over 150 outlets, including Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon. CD Baby supports artists and features like Spotify Pre-Save, same old, you've heard it before. Also offers tools for managing songwriting credits and mechanical licenses to cover songs. With a long-standing reputation, CD Baby is also a trusted choice for independent musicians to distribute their music globally. CD Baby is on a pricier side of distribution options. Instead of a monthly or annual plan, they charge $9.99 per release, whether it's a single or an album. They also take 9% of the download streaming revenues, 15% of the MLC collection, 30% of the YouTube and Facebook collection, and 40% of any sync placements through their platform. To me, I don't like any of that, especially the $9.99 for each release. This is something I experienced with TuneCore, which TuneCore is on this list, and I will get to them in a minute, so I'm not going to go off on a tangent. But any platform that charges you per song to release or per album, to me it's not worth it, because you're never going to make that money. Well, I shouldn't say never. You're not going to make that money back for a while. Let's just put it that way. Because again, it goes into the paying dollars to get cents back. It just doesn't no pun intended, it doesn't make any sense. But it does. That's the funny part. So to me, it's just not worth it. I'd much rather pay an annual fee or a monthly fee to be able to release unlimited music, because it just doesn't add up at the end of the day. And I understand they have to make money, and again, they're giving you reasons to justify that based on what their platform offers. But that's one of the main reasons I stopped using TuneCore early on, is because they just kept charging per release, and nothing was adding up at the end of the day. Again, though, if you're more established, if you're making a killing with your streaming and you don't do a lot of splits, if you're retaining all of your royalties, maybe you can justify it. I, for one, cannot justify that because I've never been able to make that type of money back. So, and if you're just starting out, that to me is just throwing money out the window, that you could easily go elsewhere and pay a lot less and put out as much music as you want to. So again, that's not to diminish what they're doing. And if you feel like that's an option you want to go for it. But that's just my opinion, and that's why I make these videos. I gotta inject a little of my opinion in there, because I feel bad if I don't. You know what I mean? So the next one is the one that I've used the most, the one I'm currently using, and the one that's pretty popular for good and bad reasons. And that's DistroKid. I first heard about DistroKid through Adam Ivy, who is very prominent here on YouTube. Well, if you're watching YouTube, he's very prominent on YouTube and social media as, a music marketer, someone who educates people in all kinds of things music related, especially as an independent artist. And I remember watching his video on DistroKid in like 2019. And I don't know if he was like an affiliate or something, but I just started researching that platform, and it seemed like the route to go. Now, this platform has gotten a lot of hot water about its relationship with Spotify and the takedown of people's music and fake streams and XYZ. That's a whole nother story for another day. You're going to have to research that on your own, because I don't really have the energy to get into it, to be honest. But to me, there's still a great option to go for, and they're still the most ideal for what I do with releasing music. It says the popular music distribution platform is known for its affordability and simplicity. Artists can release unlimited music to over 150 outlets for one flat annual fee with no additional commission on sales. So that's a big selling point. I actually pay for multiple artist names. So I pay for, I think, 10 artist names. I pay like $125 a year. But to me, that's super justified because you get that unlimited amount of releases. I'm still only using like 3 of the 10 artist names, but I'm allowed to release as much music as I want. And for what I do, being as consistent as I am with releases, that's the best option for me. So DistroKid offers a range of features, including, I won't even say it, you already know what I'm going to say. DistroKid has rates of $23 per year for their basic plan, $39 for the premium plan. Premium plan allows you to customize your label name and release date, as well as upload lyrics to streaming platforms and other features. I, for one, am a nerd about the label name thing, so that was another thing that I thought was cool, because I could put like the Proven Knowledge name on all the releases. So if you look at all the releases of J Trey and myself, they all say Proven Knowledge on them, and that's because DistroKid allows you to do that. A lot of people don't care about that, or they might not even know it's there, and you'll see it'll say like DK serial number, and that means they released it with DistroKid, but they didn't actually put anything in the label spot, so the label, or the DistroKid automatically fills that with like a UPC or whatever it is, barcode thing. But if you're a nerd about that like I am, that was like a selling point. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I can put the label in there. Next up, we have Ditto, who I have heard of Ditto. It provides services to independent artists and labels with a global reach of 200 outlets. The platform charges an annual fee based on the number of artists, with no commission taken on sales, allowing the artist to keep 100% of their royalties. Ditto offers features like pre-save spending, same old. In addition, the platform Has distribution to niche markets, including China and TikTok. Most people have TikTok incorporated at this point. That was probably a selling point in like 2020 when that was a big deal. Offers additional services like Dolby Atmos. Ditto is a versatile option for artists seeking comprehensive global distribution, financial flexibility. It starts out at $21 a year for the basic plan for releases under one artist profile. The next tier is $65 a year, which gives you more features such as releases for 2 artists. I don't know about that. It says pitching for songs for sync, collecting, publishing royalties, YouTube Content ID, priority support. That's quite the price hike. That's like a $40 difference. But again, it's like, what can they give you to justify the price point? So I guess there is some stuff in there that's like, okay, like sync placement, like you're really banking on landing a sync through these people, because then it's like, well, I can justify that because I'll make the money back. But it's like, how many opportunities are you going to get through them? You really probably won't know unless you try. So I guess if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But I think for the normal artist profile, 21 a year or 22 a year, that's pretty good. It's pretty standard. So that's not bad. Lander is up next. Definitely heard of Lander before. Platform stands out for its integration with its well-known AI-driven mastering services. I know DistroKid also just introduced their mastering services, and I think it's like 20, it might even be more than that. It's like $20 per song to have it mastered by them. And that just goes into how much do you care about that sort of thing. I master all my own music, so I don't really need that. But if that's something you want to look at sites like Lander or DistroKid. And a lot of people are rolling that feature out, is what I'm trying to say. Artists can release music to 75 outlets for one flat annual fee. Pricing starts at $24 a year for the basic plan. It gives you unlimited releases on one artist profile, including YouTube Content ID. The next tier is $45 a year. Gives you bonus features like advanced analytics, faster releases, and premium support. So this kind of sounds similar to, there's one more tier. For $143.88 a year, you get all that, plus unlimited mastering services, plugins, and royalty-free samples across a variety of DAWs. That one sounds more like it's tailored for a producer. Like, if you were a producer and they gave you like plugins and things like that, that might be a good selling point. $143 a year, and if you're one person, you're doing that sort of thing, like, go ahead. This sounds very similar to Ditto, though, where you're kind of, you're going up a bit. That price hike is not as crazy as the other one to me, but you don't get like the sync licensing opportunities. You just get a few more things, like faster releases. That really doesn't matter unless you're putting out your music the next day. So I don't really understand what that means, because usually when you plan releases, you're trying to plan them in advance, right? You're trying to plan them like a month or two at least in advance, if not more than that. Like all my releases, I plan out pretty far in advance, so I'm not trying to put it out tomorrow. So like, to me, that's not really a cool feature, but to each their own. But Lander and Ditto sound kind of cut from the same cloth with a little bit of different things. 1RPM is the next. I've heard of 1RPM. Don't know anyone that uses it. Seems like one of the lesser used ones, but it is pretty well known. Versatile music distribution platform offering a broad reach to 100 outlets. Artists on Premium can keep 100% of their royalties and benefit from features like payment, splitting, and Spotify pre-save. Right now, 1RPM is invite only. So that goes back to, like we talked about earlier, certain platforms are invite only. I think it was AWOL was invite only. This is probably why I don't know a lot of people that use it. It's invite only. it will give you the ability to distribute music videos to platforms like Apple Music and Vevo. Vevo is not really a thing anymore. It is and it's not. Like that was really popular in like 2010 when YouTube and Vevo kind of integrated, and Vevo was putting out a lot of big artists' music videos. So like, cool, I guess. And other platforms give you the ability to release music videos too. Most of them will make you pay more to put out music videos. They're like a separate fee. So just keep that in mind wherever you're at. It says the pricing starts at $1 a month for unlimited releases. Not bad. But again, invite only. 2 more tiers at $48 a year, $96 a year. Features that scale up with each one. It doesn't list the features though. So, but again, I think that's because if you don't get that invite, what relevance does it really have? So again, unless you're looking to wait to be accepted, probably don't go with that one. Probably go to something you can start up sooner. Next up, we have Root Note. How many more of these we got? Yeah, we got a good amount still. I'm kind of starting to skim a little bit because a lot of these are saying the same thing. I'm just trying to give you options, like what could you do and how many are there really, because you always hear the same few mentioned, but there's so many more out there and there's a lot of options that you have. So Root Note is next. Users love both free and premium plans to independent artists and labels. The free plan operates on revenue sharing model, takes 15% of commission. Premium plan allows you to keep 100% of the royalties, distributing to 200 outlets, including major platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. The platform is known for its flexibility, providing artists with cost-effective way to reach a global audience while choosing between a no-cost option with revenue sharing or a fee-based model with royalty retention. Need a breath. Talking a lot. That sounds very similar to DistroKid. Probably the most similar from what I've read out of all these so far. So that's definitely would be a good one to start out with if you don't want to go the DistroKid route. Songtradr, which I've actually tried to get into Songtradr before, or like do a lot of their sync stuff before. It says, as both a music distribution and sync licensing platform, it is designed to help artists monetize their music across various channels. The platform distributes music to over 100 outlets, offers 0% commission structure on its premium plans, allowing artists to keep all their royalties. Songtradr also stands out for its licensing opportunities, enabling artists to place their music in films, TV, advertisements, and more. So basically, yeah, Songtradr, I've researched this platform because like I said, I was kind of on a kick of trying to do more work in sync a few years ago. I just didn't really have time to pursue it the way I wanted to. Hopefully I can get back into that. But Songtradr is more of a sync platform than a distribution platform. They offer distribution, but to me, it's primarily for sync. So unless you're looking to go the sync route, maybe Songtradr is not the option you want to go with. But it is cool that there's a platform that offers this all in one. And if they specialize primarily in sync, and that's really what you're looking to do, you're looking to get your music in TV and movies and all that sort of thing, then yeah, it's worth taking a look at. And 0% commission. And I'm pretty sure, I don't think it says it here, but the trade-off is basically they'll take a cut of any syncs that they get for you on your behalf. So it'd probably be like a 80-20 or something like that. You'd have to research that. 70-30, who knows? Something probably along the lines of that. And I think I looked it up one time. I just don't remember what it is. But like I said, if you're trying to get those syncs, Songtradr is probably the best option because it is a very well-known company and brand for that reason. But I wouldn't say go that route if you're just trying to get your music to streaming services, personally. Sounddrop. Never heard of this one. It says it's tailored for artists who focus on releasing cover songs in niche genres. SoundDrop provides features like payment splitting and distributions to 23 outlets. So this is probably more for just people that want to do covers and just strictly focus on covers as opposed to their original music, which I know a lot of artists that they only do covers, they only perform covers, and if you want to get your music out there as just covers, you can do that. And it sounds like this platform here specializes in being able to do that. So definitely take a look at that if cover songs are your thing. But if you're just doing originals, I wouldn't probably go with this one. I think this is specifically for the cover songs, which is cool. I mean, I assume they would have a good customer base just from that, because there are a lot of people and artists that do cover songs. So that's kind of cool. But other distribution platforms also let you do that. So just a heads up. Some of them. Probably not all of them. SoundOn, powered by TikTok. So this is interesting. I've heard of this, but I didn't know that this was like a thing. But this is essentially the company, which I don't know what the original company was called. Oh, there it is. ByteDance. Yeah, ByteDance is like the people that made TikTok, or that's the new name of the people that made it. I don't know the history of TikTok. Enlighten me if you can in the comments. The music distribution platform by ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, is for artists looking to tap into TikTok's massive audience. This platform distributes to 60 outlets, including TikTok and other major platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. Takes 0% commission. It says be wary though, as the promise of 100% ownership doesn't mean you're receiving 100% royalties. It's tough to tell right now their pay structure, so do some additional research before signing up. Essentially, this sounds kind of like more of like it's in beta still, so it's not like a full-on fleshed out idea. I wouldn't do this personally. Like, I don't even know who would do this, to be honest, unless you're not very serious as an artist, because this sounds to me like you're chasing the trends of trying to get your music specifically on a viral video, which, again, good for you if you are, but that's not what I do, and that's not what a lot of artists are trying to do. So it seems like they're just doing this to incorporate a way for artists to have a chance to get in a viral video more. Which, does it actually do that? Who knows? Because I think it's still too early to tell. I would have to really figure out if there's artists out there using this that are having success. So you would probably have to research that too. Just see like who is using this platform. Is it gonna actually last? Because I would be willing to bet it's something that doesn't last more than a few years. I probably wouldn't trust it personally, but again, it's an option. Gotta give you all the options here. So that's one, and I've heard of it just through being on TikTok, so that's the only reason I've heard of it. Symphonic is next. We only have a couple more here. We have 3 more. So this is Symphonic. Full service platform, caters to independent artists, labels, and content creators. Over 150 outlets with a commission structure that varies based on your plan, ranging from 0 to 15%. You notice how most of these are only taking between 0 and like 20%, which is good. I prefer the 0, but again, there's trade-offs to everything. Every single thing has some type of a trade-off. Symphonic provides wide services, including payment splitting, Spotify, Dolby Atmos, the ability to distribute music videos to Apple Music and Vevo. Also offers marketing and playlisting support. I think the playlisting thing is something that they're trying to integrate more because it's becoming more popular, especially on Spotify. And I actually know I'm involved with a distribution platform specifically for lo-fi producers. It's called Downtown Distribution, and I'm actually not officially an artist, but I get royalty splits through them, and they specifically have a lot of playlisting opportunities, especially for Apple Music playlists, which is kind of cool because Apple Music isn't really where you think about playlists being super prominent. They are, and they're not compared to Spotify. So, something to keep in mind. I mean, if you're looking for those opportunities, getting editorial playlists, any type of thing like that helps you out, like, sure, why not? If they incorporate that into the yearly fee or the monthly fee, I'd say it's worth taking a look at. So, but the downtown one that I mentioned is invite only. I'm not even a member, like I said. I'm just getting splits through other labels currently. Maybe one day I'll be a member on there. I don't know. So TuneCore is next. And I'll try to keep this brief because I've already done a ton of talking. TuneCore, I used it from 2016 until 2019 or 20. And my biggest beef with them was what I mentioned earlier, which is you had to pay, I think, $10 or $15 per release. So you were never making back the money you were spending every time you put out music. And I didn't release my solo work on there, but my artist Jay Trey, we put out all his first few albums on there. And that was my biggest gripe, was that we were already paying for mixing and all these other things, and now we're having to pay to put out the music every time. It was just like, I don't know. But I was actually on there like a month or so ago, and it looks like they've done a lot of updates to the platform and made it a little better. I'm not saying I'll ever go back to TuneCore, but it looks like they're kind of getting with the program of some of these other distribution platforms. It says, get your music to over 150 outlets. Platform operates on a flat free model, allowing artists to keep 100% of the royalties with no additional commission. TuneCore provides a range of features, you know what they are. With its long-standing reputation and extensive distribution network, TuneCore is a reliable option for artists looking to maintain control over their music. The plans start at $23 a year and scale up to $49 a year for additional fees and label accounts. So they kind of structured it differently, but it used to be just like CD Baby, where you would pay per release. And that to me just doesn't make sense. The annual fee just makes a lot more sense. And I feel like platforms like DistroKid were really putting the pressure on them to be like, you got to change your business model or else you're probably not going to last. Because people just got the hint of like, the numbers aren't adding up. The math isn't mathing. I'm not actually getting a return on this. And I think that's why they kind of structured it differently. So it's more on the lines of like Ditto and Lander, where you have, opportunities like Sync and those other things. So you can kind of justify paying that, yearly fee for whatever you want to put out. So I think they're kind of getting with the program, but that's just my experience with TuneCore. I would say, toss up between TuneCore and DistroKid for the best one, personally, in my opinion, like the most trusted one for what you're going to get from it. But that's just me. And the last one is another one of the most popular ones, and it's United Masters. And there's a ton of stuff here. So basically, actually, no, this isn't. Okay, that's not part of the same paragraph. I'm reading the rest of the article, so actually pretty short. I can read this here. Launched in 2017, it's a music distribution platform designed to empower independent artists by providing access to all the major streaming services. Take a 0% commission on its premium select plan. United Masters also offers features like payment splitting. This platform is known for connecting artists with brand deals, offering unique monetization opportunities beyond revenue streaming. They've had some great success recently with deals. Specific artists such as mega hit from Latin artist Floyd Manor, as well as releases from SARS, Brent Faiyaz, Ecstasy, Big X the Plug, and more. Plans range from $20 to $60 a year for additional features. And I think the cool thing about United Masters is it's not invite only. This is another company that's gotten in some hot water, though, about artists, saying things about, they were taking a little too much from them, XYZ. So I don't know anything about it. I don't use this platform, but I guess just do your research. But again, you get some cool opportunities with Sync, and the brand deals thing is also pretty cool, because you never know what can come from that. And I know a lot of artists always look for brand deals, or they're just looking for ways to get in the door with that. You know, if they have a cool idea with a song, they want to get a brand on board. You know, if you have someone like this as the middleman, that might be able to help you out a lot. Just keep that in mind. That's pretty much it. So that's 15 different options right there that you can use to release your music in 2024 and beyond. Because like I said, most of these are still going to be around next year in 2025. Most of them will be around in 5 years. Some of them won't be around at all in a few years. I can guarantee you that. But a lot of these will keep adapting, keep growing, and they'll be around. And what I'll do, I'm not going to leave a link for every single one of these in the description, but I will leave a link for this article. And if you go to the article, they have all the sites linked in each paragraph. So all you do is click on the link, and it will take you to that site. And what you do with it from there is up to you. You know, you're going to have to do more research on, you know, what do you want to do with your music and which option is the best for you. But I hope to give you some options that look really good. And these probably are not the only ones. These are just the 15 best according to Royalty Exchange in 2024. So yeah, keep looking out. Maybe I'll do one of these in 4 or 5 years again and see what else I can add to the list. But these are all great ones. Well, not all great, but they're all good options to look at. So definitely take a look and hopefully get your music out there and start, you know, making those cents and hopefully dollars soon. Because we're all trying to make dollars with the streaming stuff. It is tough. But I think the important thing about streaming is you're trying to get, you know, in front of an audience. You're trying to get your music out there for people to hear, and that's the real important thing at the end of the day. So you want to get your music out there, check out one of these. Hopefully you find the one that's right for you. But yeah, wow, my voice is killing me. And we've been going for 42 minutes strong. So I'm going to wrap this up. But I hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll see you next week, which is November 5th. I'm going to be talking about releasing music with another artist, also known as co-releasing music. So, you know, putting both of your names on the release, why that can be a good thing, you know, how to do payment splits, XYZ, and my experience with co-releasing music. So that's going to be next week's topic. Very excited. But like I said, watch this YouTube replay if you didn't get to catch the live stream. If you did, thanks for tuning in. And hopefully this helped, like I said. So have a great week, guys. I'm going to go drink some water now. And you do the same and have a great rest of the month. We'll see you next week. Till then, peace out.